I agree. Would you also then agree that our wages, even including bonus pay and longevity, with it was all included, it was used in the chart and showed comparables that we clearly are in the average as far as salaries within the department?
The base salaries that are currently in the contract are, yes, if you compare them to the average, and we did take out the highs and lows to make sure that they were comparable, are lower, and that is said so in the report. With the extra pay, your salaries become a little bit more in line, but again, as I indicated in the report, there is room to negotiate to get those up as long as there are concessions with the union as to how overtime is calculated.
But just for our salaries, no overtime included. When you added in our longevity and all our bonus pay and did the same for the surrounding departments, our salary was, as the average was played out, and I understand it was an adjusted average, that adjusted average is more than the current employee in the Elyria Fire Department. Was that correct?
I'm not sure I understand your question, other than the fact that I do state in the report, and I'm sorry I do not have the page in front of me, that with your bonus time, your base salaries or your salaries become more in line, but are still less than your surrounding comparables. That's in the report.
Okay. So now we're saying that clearly my time off, and I guess we should address the work week. You would say that our work week, as a 50-hour work week, is also in line and comparable with the surrounding departments.
I think the issue is not your work week, it's how that you schedule your time in the respect of how overtime is calculated within the 28-day work cycle. There is only 2 other departments besides yourself that divides the hours to get your hourly rate by 2,080. You're comparing yourself to a 40-hour work week, but yet at the same time you're not a 40-hour work week. And so therefore, when you take how much time you get in the respect of your FHT time, as well as dividing then by 2,080 versus even 2,912, your overtime rate is significantly higher than what would be in the surrounding departments nationwide. So yes, you have very lucrative benefits when it comes to that respect. If we're going to take it looking as a whole, yes, because you're earning more money, plus you have the opportunity to buy back time. There may be very legitimate reasons why those were negotiated at some point in time. The problem is, in these fiscally challenging times, they're no longer prudent, they're no longer responsible. And so the question is, if we're going to nitpick here about whether vacation time is good or holiday time is good, you need to look at your total compensation as a package and say, where is it that we should be coming to work? Even your 82 or your 89 hours is still less than the average of firefighter has off. The average firefighter has 102 hours off and works about 2,400, 2,500 hours a year compared to your 2001. So yes, there is more time off here than normal fire departments have. You do have some surrounding communities that have some of that. Lorraine has a leveling off time period of a maximum of 298 hours. So if you take it in your totality, yes, I can sit here and say, and I did say in your report, your vacation time is fine. I did say your holiday time is fine. Your sick leave is way out of control. Not only in the way it's used, but how you earn it and how you take it off. So look at it in its totality, not one piece of the puzzle at a time. Now you need to negotiate one piece of the puzzle at a time, and I understand that. And you have every right to do that. That's why there's labor, that's why there's management, it's give and take. But there's definitely room within that contract for the union to negotiate with the city in order to save dollars, which will ultimately, hopefully, and that's the commitment that the city needs to have, save positions. Because to address the other response here, the more you go down in staffing, the more you're going to be calling people in for overtime. The more you're going to be using mutual aid companies that are going to get tired of that and start charging you.
What I'd like to do, is there anybody else who wants to speak from the fire department? And then I'll open it up for general comments.
The chief wanted me to talk a little bit about the tower and all this fuss about it.
The tower at Park Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the one who worked on a committee with the old Chief Zielinski to spec it. And I asked that council, in this item, take the handcuffs off the fire officers. If the police chief came here and said, I want to buy a bigger gun, you'd say, okay. This is our big gun. This isn't exuberant piece of equipment. It was purchased at a time and spec'd at a time when we had 3 pieces of apparatus that could pump to it. But our current ladder, it's on its deathbed. And let's be honest, we can sell it, we can do whatever. We're not going to get another piece of equipment, and we're certainly not going to get another piece of equipment that is going to protect the citizens as well as what this is. We talked about speccing the truck.
Well, we're talking about the L8 right now, right?
The tower, the brand new truck that's sitting parked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're charged with protecting the citizens. I'm trained, I'm a professional in protecting the citizens. That truck's going to protect the citizens. If we leave it parked and that ladder truck dies, who am I going to call? I'm going to call Lorraine. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I got to pump to Lorraine's tower. I need a pumper just to pump to their tower too. There's nothing unusual. I ask that you take the handcuffs off the assistant chiefs and captains that run this fire department on a day-to-day in front of the burning buildings and allow us to use the big gun. With the less manpower that we're arriving with, unfortunately, if your house is on fire, Mr. Burkhardt, and you're living next door to Mr. Bullock's, I have to, unfortunately, with the manpower, write your house off and protect Mr. Bullock's. And guess what? The best way to do it with less manpower is to pull out my big gun. And that's what we have. We also have all of our extrication equipment on it. There's no fussing around for me at 3 in the morning to decide to pick a crew to run on that truck, on a rescue truck that's unmanned to go cut somebody out of a car. There's $125,000 worth of equipment that will save lives on that piece of apparatus. I know you know we're surrounded by water. Right now I got to pick 2 or 3 pieces of apparatus to get all the water equipment there. The only thing this truck doesn't carry is a boat. It's got ropes. It's got preservers. If you have less manpower, this is a hell of a toolbox. It's a Craftsman Deluxe. Last time, take the handcuffs off your captains and assistant chiefs. Let us fight the fires that we know how to fight.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Captain.